Welcome to Season 3 of the Take the Leap podcast. We want to thank you for being a part of this journey with us.
Whether you're just starting to tune in or you're a longtime listener of the podcast, you can expect to hear from entrepreneurs in all stages of their journey, how they got to where they are, and all the mistakes and victories they've had along the way.
We're excited to share new guests and have some returning folks from our first 2 seasons. Thank you for being here, and we hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome back, everyone, to the Take the Leap podcast. Really excited to have our returning guest. I'm just joking. Victoria. Probably no. I'm in a silly mood today, so
I am too.
We will just
We're vibing.
We're just twinning today. I have to share this. I think I texted it to Mary, but my husband loves to tease about like woo-woo stuff, like Mercury being in retrograde, and so he saw something from one of our bartenders that we used to go see back in Portland that says Mercury is in reverse cowgirl again. And so I think we should adopt this new
I like it.
phrasing.
Mercury is in reverse cowgirl
again. Yeah, so much astro weather going around right now. But anyways, that is not why you came to listen to us, folks and friends. And
maybe it is.
Or maybe it is, yeah. But we are going to recap our episode that we released earlier this week with Haley Cooper from the Savvy Fundraiser. I was going to say the fundraising nerd, but that is not her. That is somebody totally different in the nonprofit space. But so the funny thing about having Haley on was I have been subscribed to her email newsletter for like years and years from when I was still working for a nonprofit. And so it was nice to be able to meet her finally and to hear about what she has been working on in the space of like burnout prevention and really helping nonprofits like continue to do their missions without harming the people who are doing the work, which is awesome. But yeah, I thought
it's so important.
Yeah, it's both you and me as like we can say that really the way that we connected was because we were two burnt out, like comms marketing people in our respective nonprofits being like, how do we do it all and like not pull our hair out and have community and have support and all of that. But I thought it was really interesting the way she was talking about burnout not being about laziness, but really about culture and hustle culture. And you and I have talked about that a lot of like, the hustle harder, get more done. That's really not the way to move forward in the world. And one of the things that she did also say was that like strong missions don't just retain people, it's the healthy environments that do. And nonprofits need to remember that we have choices of where we work or where we don't, and it's important to take care of your people as much as it is to take care of your mission as well.
And that works for the business, like for-profit business world as well, too, right? Like when you treat your team well, they're going to stay. You're going to be more efficient. You're going to make more money. Like that's proven over and over
again. Yeah. We don't need to keep studying this, people. Like when is enough evidence going to be enough? Yeah. We can just know, right?
Just be human and treat your employees like they're human.
Yes. Not as a number, not as a paycheck, not as an input.
And I know I don't know if we talked about this in this episode, but this just kind of reminded me a little bit of this because I had a conversation recently with somebody about the nonprofit world and how there's so much turnover, and it's because these teams tend to be a little bit toxic because they're understaffed, under-resourced, and they're still, a lot of them are still operating under like that hustle culture of we need to do more, we need to make more, we need to serve more people for less pay because we're doing this, blah, 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 blah. I had a thought here that I was going with. But I feel like I've had like a couple of instances where I've interacted with those executive directors and those, people who are in charge and leadership, and they say the words like, we need to have more work-life balance. We need to make sure you're taken care of. Are you okay? How are you doing? they say those things, but they don't actually take the time to care with their actions.
Absolutely.
Whether or not they truly care on an individual level or not is, we won't get into that, but like their actions are doing something different. They're not standing up and saying, to the board and saying, hey, we need to redistribute these funds so that I can give my employees pay raises. They've worked really hard and I need to keep them on board. They're not, they're saying, I don't want you overworked, but then they're texting them at 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock at night. It's
Totally.
the actions aren't lining up with what they need. So anyway, I went on a little bit of a tangent soapbox there, but I think that's also an important piece of it is like you hear this advice, but the leaders who are actually implementing this and actually doing the work, I think you'll find those are the environments that are thriving a little bit more under the current circumstances.
Yes, the ones who are actually following it. And yeah, shout out to any of our episodes that we had with Danielle Dinkelman with ACW coaching, because that is definitely a space that she sits in with building like appropriate cultures that optimize for employee well-being. Like, you can't, like, you could say that all the time. Like, I've definitely been with those managers who are like, oh no, you shouldn't, or they'll like schedule a meeting with you, if you know that I leave the office and I go home by 5 and you schedule a meeting for 4:45 or even 4:30, I'm not going to get out on time, And so it was like, I definitely worked in cultures where that was frequently the case, that last minute meeting, or like that, the catching you on your way out, or can you do this one more thing, and be like, don't even ask, like, just save it for the morning. Like, what is not going to happen if in this 30 minutes that doesn't get done? Or, it's the same thing. Like, hey, if you don't expect your employees to answer you at 9 o'clock at night, send that fucking email when they, for 9 a.m. in the morning, or even 10 a.m.
There are tools.
Yeah, there are tools. Oh my God, there are so many technologies now that help with that as well. So yeah, use your tech stack, use your tool stack, think, think before doing as well.
And think about how you would feel as a boss or as an employee if you're the boss, like think about how you would feel if you got a text at 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. that said, hey, I really need you to prioritize this thing. Then you're like, okay, well now I was getting my kid ready for bed. I'm getting myself ready for bed. And I was trying to relax, but now all I'm thinking about is this thing I have to do. And I don't want to go start it because I want to go to bed on time tonight, but I feel like the reason why they're texting, like how would that make you react?
Oh my God. I'd throw my phone, or
I'd get pissed.
I get mad. In my brain, I will be thinking middle finger emoji to your message. Yes. I might not send it, but I will think it. But yeah, it's a mess. And yeah, it is, like you said, it's totally something that you can do both on the for-profit or the nonprofit side.
Right.
I think too, a lot of nonprofits, like when they lose people, when they lose funding, they don't think about like shifting down what they do. They still try to meet that level of need out there.
That's a really good point. Yeah, that's a really good thing you just said, because it's so true. Instead of saying, okay, we don't have the number of staff necessary to implement all these programs, they're saying, okay, these staff have to work harder, even though it wasn't their fault, even though, and like they might say, oh, we'll hire somebody again when we have the funding, but like that's not an end in sight timeline. If you say, hey, we're immediately going to hire someone, we're already looking, can you do this extra work for 2 weeks, and as a thank you, we will do X, Y, and Z, give you a bonus, whatever it is that's possible. And they say, yes, that's one thing. But because there's like an end in sight there. But I don't know.
There's always, there's always people who are doing 2 jobs or doing parts of one job, and then they're like, oh, why does their performance suck? And it's like, well, You just
You're not
added
letting them
so
focus.
much.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. I liked it. Well, now that I'm doing like strength training, it's like, what if I added 10 more pounds to, like to the
Yeah.
outside of your thing? Like, how many more reps would you be able to get in? Oh, you wouldn't. And you'd be like crushed. Yeah, that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Another thing that we
Exactly.
talked about a little bit with her too was about diversifying your funding, like that is just
Mhm.
non-negotiable. That how all with the changes in our federal government, so many organizations that were relying on federal dollars and federal grants now are in a lurch because that they weren't sustaining a pipeline from anywhere else. Like they were really relying on those, especially since, some organizations, 30 to 40 to even like 70% of their funding sometimes is just from this single source, and how important it is to kind of build out those different means to get money in the door as well. And then
Exactly.
talking more about retaining and stewarding donors instead of spending so much time on acquisition, because I do think that that is something that even we'll keep playing the for-profit nonprofit
Yeah.
game. Like I do think a lot of times when you talk to folks who are working in the for-profit world, oh, I need more customers, oh, I need more customers, and they're not thinking about like, well, you already had somebody buy from you. How do you retain that person? How do you do a fantastic job? How do you make them, if you're working like us with clients, like how do you make them be a referral engine for you rather than just being like, oh, okay, I messed it up with this one client. Let me go get some more folks
Yeah.
in. And it's the same thing with donors. You need to pay attention to the folks who have been giving to you for years and years and years, and not just chasing, new people, at an event, or, you get the new shiny thing in like, oh gosh, this person gave $10,000. Now we just need to bow in front of them and do everything for them. Whereas you might have had somebody, who gave $1,000 a year for the last 10 years. You need to pay just as close attention to that person, or maybe even more
Exactly.
because of their
Exactly,
loyalty.
because they're loyal.
Yeah.
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 Well, and I think that's kind of the point too, is like whether it's for profit or nonprofit, when you have loyal customers, when you have loyal supporters, it's not just their loyalty you're getting. You're also
Mhm.
getting an advocate for your
Totally.
brand and for your organization. It's often that those are the people who are going to talk about you, who are going to say, "Hey, you should come to this fundraising event with me. I think you'd really enjoy their organization, their mission." And they invite their friends, or
Mhm.
if, you have a small business and you sell products, like, hey, this product is amazing. I will not use a different one because
Mhm.
this one is so good. Or I only work with Ashlyn for marketing because she is amazing. It's like it's stuff like that that I think means more in the long
Mhm.
run. I mean, like case in point, like all of like I've been around for 5 years now, and I would say probably like close to 90% of my customers are either people who have worked with me before and are coming back for certain projects,
Mhm.
or they've been word of mouth referrals.
Mhm.
And I feel like that means more than
Mhm.
anything.
Yeah.
And that's like keeping your clients and keeping your current people happy. And when I work with new clients, like, and I usually do like a big like marketing brand audit with them,
Mhm.
and one of the first things that we go over is like, what is your current customer like? Like
Mhm. Mhm.
who are they? What do you know about them? How
Mhm.
do you interact with them? How do you engage with them? Like, and so many people are like, "Oh, well, I need to get new customers." I'm like, "Okay, but what about the people who are currently buying from you? Like, what do we know about them? Like,
Yeah.
how are we thanking them? How are we involving them and asking them to come back?
Mhm.
Like, and how are we just thanking them for supporting us that one time? Like, what what do you
Yeah.
mean? What do you mean you don't know?"
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say if you don't know, ask questions. Just
Yeah.
take a moment to ask questions. I'm going to try to remember it off the top of my head, but I listened to a speech from Mike. I can't remember how to pronounce his last name, the guy that wrote Profit First.
Okay.
But he gave in his speech like 3 ways to basically clone your best customers or clients. Um, and so the questions he said to ask are like, what am I doing well? Instead of saying what am I not doing well, say what is wrong with my industry. That way it makes it not about you, and it makes it about people that they could work And then the
Right.
third one was, oh, where do you hang out that way? Or like, where do you congregate? That way you can figure out like where you need to get in front of these people. And that was just so smart
I
because
love
I feel
that.
like that is something that you could ask donors. You could ask, potential like referral partners as well. And then I'm going to put a bow on this really quickly because I think that this is true in again in the for-profit and the nonprofit space. One of the reasons that we overextend, overdo it, and lead to that burnout is because you have a scarcity mindset. So you have this fear that if you don't say yes to everything, if you don't do all the things, then you will never make money, that you will never get to where you want to go. And that's actually not true. It's usually when you slow down, be intentional, look at the things that are actually leading to what you are deeming success. That's when you can actually see the growth and the change in your business. So yeah, I think you and I both experienced the same thing with the slow season. Like that actually gave us time to like focus on things that mattered, to keep
Yeah.
moving forward. So yeah.
I love it.
Awesome. Well, shall we transition to our other fun part of these episodes? And
Yeah.
Tori, what is your win for this week?
Yes. Well, I've kind of said this as a somewhat win before, but I've been writing a lot more lately, just creatively outside of work for fun, which has really helped me because it's made me like I felt like I was kind of creatively getting stuck, and it's helped me be a little bit more creative with my work, with my clients, and stuff like that. So I'm really glad that I've been going down this path. But I decided on a whim to enter like a short story contest, which I'm not doing it because I like think I'm going to win or anything. I wanted to challenge
Mm-hmm.
myself. And
Mm-hmm.
so they gave us a week, like they at the start of the contest sent us an email that gave us the prompts, and they gave us a whole week to write
Mm-hmm.
it and submit it. And I just submitted it yesterday. So I, within 1 week, wrote a short story
I
that
love
I'm actually
it.
really, really proud of. And I submitted it. And I just feel like, I don't know, there was just something about doing that that just made me feel like I can now do anything,
Mm,
which
I
feels
like it.
amazing. So that's my win. What
Um,
about yours?
when do I get to read it? And
Yes, yes. I'll send it to you.
okay, perfect. My win, and this is kind of old because we record these kind of like out of order, just in case you didn't know, listeners. But the win that I wrote down was just a successful visit with my in-laws, and so
Yay.
yeah, so we did all the things when they were here, but it was really fun. Like we went to the Mop Museum, which I had never been to. We went to the the food festival and ate a bunch of Asian food. We
Ooh.
went to the Wizard of Oz, which was really fun.
Remember you saying that.
And then we
So
went to
cool.
RuPaul's Drag Race Live, which was also very fun.
That
But
is really fun that you took your in-laws to
yeah,
that.
yeah, I
I,
was really glad they were down for it.
yeah.
Um,
They have a good time. You all had a good
they
time.
had a great
Yeah.
time. Yeah, it was really
That's
cute.
awesome.
I'm gonna say it out loud because it was the cutest thing ever. But my husband, or not my husband, my father-in-law kept asking. I think he asked like 3 times. He was just like, that's not a lady." As he just kept saying that over and over again, like, "That's not a lady," and it was the cutest thing ever. And we're like, "Yeah, no, those are men in drag. They're awesome, and they're in drag."
They are
Um,
incredible.
but yeah, but as we were driving them to the airport, so that they could go back to Portland, they both said thank you for taking care of us, which just like warmed
Oh,
my heart. So
that's
yeah,
so cute.
and they are planning another trip out, to come visit for my husband's birthday because he is turning 40.
Oh,
Soon.
wow.
So yeah, so we're excited to have them just have a little escape from Portland. As you know, Portland's it's it's in the pressure cooker, I guess I want to say. So yeah, much different here,
Yeah.
as well. So all right, on the flip side, what is your do better for this week?
Yes. So I need to get like I've gotten really organized with my systems over the last year and like some
Mm-hmm.
things about my business, but there's still a lot of like admin stuff that I'm not staying super organized with. So my do better is to like really get that um locked in tight while I have like a couple weeks of not super busy stuff going on,
Nice,
so then that way like I'm set for the rest of the year.
nice. I like it.
What about you?
My do better is just unsubscribing from the emails I'm not reading. And so, like, I went through Paya's little inbox magic thing. And so I have like everything flagged. I have a lot of things that are just like going, into folders. And so that might be
Mm-hmm.
something that I do over the next week is just be like, is this something that I would totally come back and like read the stuff in later? Or is it just taking up space in my inbox
Right.
as well? So,
Well, and that is my favorite task to do when I am procrastinating
oh, yes, is email.
is to organize. I'm like, you know what I really need to do right now? This thing's due in a couple hours, but right now it is imperative
Oh,
that
yeah.
I fix my inbox.
Yes, to get to inbox, like it's not even ever inbox zero, it's like unread zero, like
Right.
is
Yeah.
what I do a lot as well. So
Mhm.
okay, then what is your piece of media content for this week?
Yeah, so this one's kind of fun, oldie but goodie. I recently read, so this is going to sound crazy, but I've never read a Stephen King book. And until like within the last year, I read the book that he wrote on, it's called On Writing, and
Oh,
it's about the writing process and like how he does it, and stuff like
nice.
that. And reading that book, I was like, I mean, obviously I knew he was a good writer because he's Stephen King, but I was like, I've literally never read anything by Stephen King,
Mhm.
and I really enjoyed this book. I should read. And he talks a lot about in the book about his writing process, specifically with his book Misery, which
Mhm.
is a big one. So I was like, you know what? That's a classic. That's one in pop culture that everybody talks about. So I should probably read this book. So I am about 3/4 of the way through it. I am probably going to finish it tonight.
Nice.
And it is so good. A bit creepy.
It's a very, I feel like they've remade it like in so many different formats too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, really good writer. Obviously we knew that, but
Yes.
I think it's fun that I'm finally reading my first,
Stephen
well, I
King.
guess technically second, if you can, yeah,
Oh,
but
that, yeah.
my first like Stephen King book.
Fiction Stephen King
Stephen
book.
King book.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And I'm enjoying it. It's one of those like you pick up and it's hard to put down once you start reading.
Nice.
So, what about you?
So Love is Blind, of course.
Oh,
It's like what,
love
the
it.
10th season. My husband gave up on it, so I need to go and I need to like I think it might all be out now. I don't know if it is or not. But I need to go back and like watch the rest of it. But yeah,
I
it
love
just
this.
I feel like it's just always so comical and so funny all the time. I think that most
Mhm.
people have been saying that the people on this season are pretty boring, but I don't know. I just like to like I think it's just funny to hear what people like actually care about and don't care about when it comes to dating and relationships. And I am also really wondering when they're just going to call it quits on this because clearly it does not work all the time. And I feel like because a lot of the people who come on this show end up in like other seasons of reality. So actually, we were just talking about this yesterday because somebody had referenced like the real world, maybe it was even like the real world Las Vegas. I was like, oh, where can I go back and watch old episodes? But remember, they used to basically take them from that one and then they would like
Okay, yeah.
appear on all these other reality TV shows. So I feel like
Yeah.
that's what like Love is Blind is now, is like, it didn't work out. So let's go put you on this other show where basically you get to be a slut or a, or a man whore for,
Yep.
however many weeks. So,
I love this.
so yeah, that's my theory, is that it will never go away because it's now a feeder show into
I
other
love this.
shows. So,
Love this.
with that, listeners, I would love to know if you think my theory is correct for reality television. But if not, we hope that you enjoyed Haley's episode. We hope that you enjoy this recap, and we will see you next week. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Take the Leap podcast. Check out our show notes to connect with us and our guests. If you have questions about the episode or ideas for future topics, send us a direct message on Instagram or email us at aloha@taketheleap-today.com. If you're interested in being a guest, fill out the guest interest form on our website.
If you're a new entrepreneur who is looking for a roadmap to move your business idea forward, check out the Take the Leap course on our website, taketheleap-today.com. Members who join the course also have an opportunity to join us in bi-weekly co-working and group coaching calls to build momentum and work on your business.
And if you'd like a flavor of what we offer, sign up for our free webinar with the 9 essential steps you need to launch your business with clarity and confidence. See you next time.